3 years of minimalism made me millionaire. From 20% saving rate, I reached at 70% saving rate stage. Minimalism basically means simplify your life with those decisions and things that only serve a purpose to your life. Does that mean you have to live cheaply? Do you have to stop spending money on things? The answer is no. We usually spend money on things that don't serve any purpose in our life. In fact, we spend on things that make us miserable. Flashy cars, big house, or an iPhone. There is no harm in spending money on these things if, number one, you can afford, and number two, they serve a purpose. If you are putting all these things on debt or on credit cards, you are making your life miserable, and then you have to keep working on things that you don't love. That is, your 9 to 5 job. I discovered minimalism 3 years back, and I will tell you how it changed my life and made me financial independent. If you are new to this channel, here we talk about financial independence, creating wealth, productivity, and living a meaningful life. After learning about minimalism, the first step for me is to look around my possessions. Some of them are physical possessions and some are digital. I made a list of all my monthly expenses and got to know there are several things, physical and digital, that I don't use. I had 7 pair of running shoes and I don't even run. I have subscription to Netflix, Amazon Prime and several other OTT platforms, but I don't use them very often. Once you figure out these things, then goes to step 2. The first thing, when I got to know about my unused stuff, I removed them from my life. I donate most of my unused clothes and shoes. I unsubscribe to unused OTT platform and magazine subscription. And I sell some of the physical items like old camera, old mobile phones and video games. Third step of minimalism is to stop buying things that you don't use. I'm not saying that you should not buy sneakers, but if you will just use them for a couple of times a year or even a month, then look for another option. I stopped buying things that I do not use and that do not serve purpose in making me financially independent. Minimalism helped me in saving a lot of money, and in last 3 years I have gone from 20% saving rate to 70% saving rate. I will tell you in my next video how I save 70% of my income. Once I start saving more money, I start investing it for my financial independence. I started with a small SIP in mutual fund because at that time I did not have enough knowledge about stock market. The other thing that I started investing is in myself. I started learning about the stock market and the power of compounding. Now I have less possessions and more time. So instead of spending that extra time on Netflix, I start learning about different skill set. We spend a lot of time with our social companions or our work friends. And we live in a society where most of the things we do is to show it to people. We buy a new iPhone to show it to others. Need to buy a new cars every 3 years to show it to our friends. With minimalism, I understood one thing very clearly. Money is unlimited, but time is limited. I removed those activities from my life that doesn't serve purpose. I would rather spend time with my family instead of having drinks and dinners with the toxic work buddies. I was spending a lot of money and a lot of time on social events that not just keeping me stressed, but keep me away from my financial freedom. Now when I have extra money and I start learning about new skills, I was more happy and start spending my time in building side hustle. Minimalism is not just not spending on things, rather it's about eliminating things from your life that do not serve any purpose. I wanted to be a financial independent so that I can travel the world, spend time with my family and need not to work in toxic corporate world. So with minimalism, I saved a lot of money, invested up to 70% of my income, continuously increased my income with side hustles and then again invested that extra money. If you want to know how I started my first side hustle, comment below.